Welcome to today's video, where we will explore and synthesize the most horrifying natural disasters ever recorded in history. From hurricanes, violent earthquakes, to volcanic eruptions and sudden floods, everything will be recreated through realistic and emotional footage. Join us to witness the terrible power of nature and feel the devastation it brings, so that we can better appreciate life and nature around us. A bus suddenly turned into a mobile swimming pool. I don't know if the passengers brought life jackets or not, but it was definitely an experience. The water was flowing rapidly, as if someone had just opened a giant water valve from the sky. In a breathtaking moment amid harsh nature, a man was swept away by raging floodwaters. However, in a moment of danger, 3 heroes appeared and promptly pulled him back to safety. A man, unable to withstand the furious force of nature, was thrown far away by the sky-high waves of Typhoon Kiran. The men in this village are having to flee from the floodwaters that suddenly flooded in, bringing with them terrible, destructive power. A man's engine broke down while trying to cross floodwaters and is in danger. Luckily, a group of brave people rushed to help him. We are witnessing brave people overcoming the fierce flood without showing any fear. Resilient faces, strong footsteps. A massive flood has hit Japan, washing away everything in its path. Right here, a house was swept away, while people were still trapped inside. People trapped in houses being swept away by water are being rescued by rescue teams by helicopter. The bravery of the rescue workers was amazing. They are doing their best to get each person out of the house safely. A road was completely destroyed by massive floodwaters. Thanks to timely warnings, everyone was safely evacuated. But it is impossible to deny the terrible devastation this natural disaster caused. The road, which was originally a bustling traffic area, now only remains of debris and destruction. Man is fighting endlessly with the power of nature. During a fierce rainstorm, he devoted all his strength to protect his valuable assets. The peaceful house that many generations have lived in is now gradually being swept away by the fierce flood. In extreme helplessness, the house seemed to scream in silence. Each piece of wood, each brick seemed to break apart in the water. All efforts to save them became hopeless before the brutality of nature. A fierce thunderstorm just swept through. Strong winds broke power lines and caused widespread power outages. A man tries to cross a small bridge amid fast-flowing water. Oh my God, that was a risky decision. Suddenly he lost his balance and was swept away in the raging current. In Colorado, USA, thousands of people are trapped in the middle of a sea of floodwaters, with no way out. Many houses have sunk deep into the water, and the lives of people here are being horribly turned upside down. The tree fell with terrifying force, hitting the house directly in front of it. In the blink of an eye, the house was completely destroyed. A powerful tornado is attacking a building, sweeping everything high. Debris and furniture are being swept into a violent vortex. Nothing can stop this destructive power. A terrible tornado suddenly appeared and attacked a green forest, turning the place into a scene of desolation and ruin. Nature's fury descended without warning. Desolate scene after a strong storm hit a paper company factory in China. The dramatic landslide scene that had just occurred caused many people to panic and flee. Fortunately, no casualties were recorded. Indeed, this is a powerful reminder of how dangerous and unpredictable nature can be. The scene of a tornado appearing before your eyes at night looks like a demon. Amid the rushing floodwaters, the little dog seemed to have lost all hope. But at that moment, a team of brave workers appeared. With great determination and skill, they used a crane to reach and safely rescue the dog. Both the team and the dog returned to the arms of peace. Cars were swept away by floodwaters and stuck in piles after the flood passed. The cars, precious assets of many families, are now just lifeless piles of rubble. In Syria, the fierce storm suddenly struck, bringing with it horrifying flash floods, washing away everything in its path on June 8th. People here are facing an unprecedented disaster. The image is unbelievable. A solid iron bridge, once considered a symbol of sustainability and safety, was easily swept away by floodwaters. The fierce, constantly rushing water streams broke all barriers and swept away the bridge in an instant. Waves tens of meters high like fierce sea monsters attacked a stretch of highway, turning travel into a horrifying nightmare. In the middle of the vast river, a giant sinkhole suddenly appeared, causing the entire water flow to be sucked out in just a few seconds. The water receded like lightning, leaving a vast void. A terrible tornado has suddenly formed from the sea and is violently attacking the mainland, where there are many tourists. When the fierce whirlwinds blow away everything in its path, floodwaters destroyed a bridge in just a few seconds, causing traffic to be cut off. In China, a strong earthquake caused a landslide, causing buildings to collapse in the blink of an eye. Panic-stricken people felt the violent shaking and were in an extremely dangerous situation. A terrible noise rang out. Everyone was trying to find a safe place. A huge sandstorm, like a hungry demon, was heading straight towards the small town in the middle of the desert. The winds howled, carrying billowing sand and dust, engulfing everything in sight. A terrifying incident occurred at sea when a tourist boat capsized due to large waves. In that moment of life and death, fortunately, everyone on the boat escaped and was waiting to be rescued. Big waves are violently hitting the side of the cargo ship. The boat is swaying and swaying as if it wants to be submerged by the terrible power of the sea. Fierce storm winds swept through, making even the sturdy ancient trees unable to stand. The scene was like a brutal battle between nature and the resilience of the trees. Large rocks fell from the sky with terrible force, mercilessly destroying power lines and vehicles. The scene was truly overwhelming, like a scene from a disaster movie. We just witnessed an unbelievable situation when a strange object fell into the lake from above. Just as lightning flashed across the sky, a deafening explosion rang out. Just a few minutes ago, the scene was peaceful, calm, without the slightest sign of anything out of the ordinary. But then, suddenly like a nightmare, the strong wind came, destroying everything in its path. Trees were uprooted and fell. The peaceful scene became a chaotic battlefield. Raging tornadoes swept away everything in their path, leaving nothing but devastation and ruin. Houses were torn apart, trees were uprooted, and life seemed to be swept away in nature's fury. We cannot forget this image, a vivid testament to the terrible destructive power of natural disasters. This is a painful reminder of human insignificance before the power of nature. In this short video, we see the power of nature when the wind is strong enough to knock down strong trees in just a few seconds. This reminds us of human smallness and weakness before the invisible power of nature. Scene of devastation after the destruction of the tornado. The sturdy chimney columns suddenly collapsed, creating a horrifying and dramatic scene. The MC's eyes now contained surprise and surprise at the unexpected incident. The event raised many questions and concerns about the cause and consequences of the incident, making the atmosphere tense and impose. No one expected the new wooden house to collapse because of such a strong wind, the sudden force of nature, and the ease with which things can be turned around in the blink of an eye. Seeing the building crumble, I couldn't believe what was happening. A desperate display of the forces of nature. Huge concrete columns lie motionless amid the rubble. The volcanic eruption created a terrifying scene with huge columns of smoke hundreds of meters high. It is not only a powerful natural phenomenon, but also a manifestation of the ultimate power of nature. The cars below were damaged after this landslide. Heavy rain flooded a parking lot, causing many vehicles to be seriously damaged. Landslide statue, horrifying and heart-stopping. The people fled, but I stood there like a nail, filled with fear for their fate. At an outdoor wedding, a tornado suddenly made landfall, tearing through the ceremony and causing chaos. The wedding halls were blown away, leaving only a situation of war.
Hello, I am Mr. Kwan, the host for Moments of Rage channel. The channel reminds us of our responsibility to protect the environment. Take action today to protect our green planet. Engage in solid action to reduce carbon emissions and improve recognition. We can build a greener and stronger future. If you find it interesting, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click follow to spread the information.